Good morning, everyone. We're back again with the show. I know there was a little bit of break. Today we've got a very special guest. I'm actually going to be introducing the guest as well. There was a gap and you guys have been waiting. I know it's a much loved interviews that were happening. We didn't get to interview a lot of people. Hopefully we can cover everyone, and there's still about 15 more interviews that are about to happen. Today we've got, as I said, a very, very special guest. A special guest to me as well, and also for the entire school. She's actually been a primary teacher as well. When she started the school as a PRAC teacher, she taught my daughter's class. And after that, I was surprised to find out that she was doing a PRAC for high school teaching. I don't know how she ended up there. And also she is an English teacher, which is very interesting to learn. And well, she will become a great teacher, although she is just recently finished her degree and she's doing her PRAC, but she's already on the way to become a great teacher. So without further ado, my guest today is Miss Danille Burns. And also she's got the last name, which is Koyes. So I'll pass it on to her, and we've got a baby photo there. While I pass on to her, we would like to hear from her, and also tell us about the photo, the baby photo, what she has in the background.
Oh, sure. I guess I'll tell you about the baby photo first. So this is actually one of the worst photos of it, and thank you so much for that extremely kind introduction. That was so nice. Thank you. My baby photo here is one of the worst ones that I have of myself, but pretty true. My uncle is sitting behind me, and I have a really huge family, and one of the traits of my family is really, really big, frizzy hair. So that's why I have my hair in a bun all the time. Because if I didn't, it would actually be really, really big and take up a lot of space. My mum used to cut my hair really short, sort of like a bowl cut, and it would look like this some days. I think I was about 1 or 2 in the picture here. So still a baby, but not a newborn. Yeah, definitely heading along to toddler status.
Well, you look very surprised in there. Maybe, I think you were camera shy back then.
I'm still camera shy now, to be honest. So I guess some things change and some things don't.
Well, you did have a very baby face back then. I can tell you what, you haven't changed much. If someone saw that photo, you still have a baby face even now.
Yes, I think the chubby cheeks do it.
Well, tell us about your journey. I mean, well, we all have a journey, and you ended up in the school. Tell us about your experience. Also, people that don't know, unfortunately, I got to come to Miss Danille really late, and Monday's her last day. And I wish her all the best from this forum. That wherever she goes, she'll definitely be a light for that place.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. So my journey, I'm a lot older, I think, than some people take me for. I'm in my 30s, which is still, I think, very young.
Well, you're telling you're in 30s, or you're making me feel old already now.
No, 30s is young, and you're only as young as you feel. And I still feel like a baby most of the time myself. So I'm in my 30s, and I came to teaching pretty late, a lot later in life than I know some other people would have. Yeah, I always wanted to become a teacher, but because of my upbringing and some certain things that were happening in my family home, I was one of the main caretakers in my family. So I was doing whatever I could to financially support them, and that led me down the path of project management instead. So when I finally was able to, I pursued teaching. So I left project management and started studying to become a teacher. And it's the thing that I've always wanted to do, because I've had amazing teachers over my life who managed to help me change my situation. And that's what the power of teaching is. The people that I have known in my life as a student have done nothing but inspire me and motivate me to better myself and my situation and the surrounding circumstances. And I think that that's the power of education, and I wanted to be part of that.
No, that's so great. Okay, we'll come back to our first question. Well, tell us something that you know really well. I know you know so many things well. If you're a teacher, you already know everything well. So, well, there's always something that people know well, and people actually come to you. They look forward to come to you for that. as you said, you've got a massive family, and I'm sure people are always surrounding you, thinking that definitely you're going to be a great help to them.
That's more true than I'd like to admit. I do have a lot of family members who come to me for help when it comes to teaching their kids about English in particular, but surprisingly math, which I'm not actually very good at. Because part of my journey was I was an accountant at one point, and it's very true. If you don't use it, you lose it. So people come to me for taxation advice still, project management advice, and also lots of different things. But the thing that I love the most is that my nieces and nephews come to me asking me for video game advice. Because I love playing video games, and I know a lot of video games really, really well.
Well, that's amazing. So you're probably a Fortnite player as well.
No, my brother loves Fortnite. I'm more into RPGs.
Oh, so you're in the RPG stuff. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Legend
What do
of
you?
Zelda is my favorite. My favorite video game franchise of all time.
Well, that's you're making me feel like a dwarf. So I'm actually not in gaming anyway or
Oh,
form.
yes.
My favorite
Well,
game
then
would
I'm
be
the dork.
Well, my favorite game would be FIFA. That's when my children are playing football. And the last time when I challenged my son, and I said I thought it might be an easy game, so he said, "You know what? Well, let's have a game." And then he beat me 9-3. And after that, I said, "You know what? You're a cheater. You didn't tell me how this game works, and blah blah blah." So my gaming, knowledge is kind of like very limited. But I was very surprised. I never knew that you would know gaming well.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I have a bit of a trait where I take an interest in something and then I just add to it. So I'm actually interested in a lot of different things. I think that's part of being a teacher. You never stop learning.
That's right. That's correct. Well, from that, well, definitely there'll be other things as well. Is there anything other thing that you wanted to add that you know
Uh,
well?
I may not look at it, but I'm also a professionally trained makeup artist.
Oh,
And yeah, I took a course during the COVID lockdown just for fun, just to see what it was all about. And
well,
yeah, so
I'll tell you
um,
what. If you've given your number to the teachers, the female teachers, they'll be bombarding you after this interview, calling you for some makeup advice and also doing some makeup as well.
maybe I'd be more than happy to. But yeah, that's one thing, and bridal makeup in particular. And my aunt is a hairdresser, and so she had me help her out in her salon when I was younger. So now I know how to cut and style hair as well. And I
Well,
do
that's
that for
great.
my own family as well.
Well, that's very good. And also that side money. One of the unfortunate things in Australia and also around the world, the teachers are not really acknowledged or paid that much. So
Yeah,
that side business will add up to whatever you missed as a teacher.
maybe so, but I'll be really tired and covered in hair by the end of the day.
Well, tell us something that you always wanted to learn.
I still really want to learn how to sing and also play an instrument.
Oh, so you don't know any instrument.
No, I don't know any instruments, and it's something I've always wanted to do. Something I've always wanted to learn.
Well, what's your favorite instrument?
I would do guitar, but Mark was telling me about how difficult it is to learn the guitar. So I think I might chicken out and do the piano instead.
Well, guitars are actually not very easy. Mark's right. They're actually very, very sophisticated. And well, singing, singing's quite easy. We just have to work with the melody, and with your personality, I think singing will be more natural for you.
Oh, thank you. I just think that my voice might crack on the high notes a little much. So,
Well,
there's always room for improvement.
well, we don't have to be Celine Dion, so we don't have to sing at high notes.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that when we go to karaoke, I don't embarrass my kids.
Well, we have to start somewhere. We have to, as you said, we have to give fuel to our dreams. We have to start. And that's sort of an motivation. So yeah, I look, my prayers are with you that you get to where you want to be. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else you want to add to something that you always wanted to learn?
Um, those are the two main things. But I probably also want to learn a little bit more graphic design. I started learning about graphic design just because I had seen some of the personal projects that our students have been doing, and I've been absolutely amazed by them. And I just feel like I want to be able to do that too, so I can come to fully appreciate some of the things that our students are doing. Some
Like,
of them, I'm sure you've seen them. Some of their personal programs is just wow, it's just amazing.
well, it's amazing, even when you look at some of the websites, and graphic designing actually is one of the most important tools when it
Mm.
comes to building a website. And I always wanted to build one of my own websites. So possibly I can take your dream and we'll start working on my graphic designing skills. Well, if you
Yes.
don't know, I'm actually filling in as a design teacher for year 8, and I'm still,
Oh, cool.
I'm still learning how to even draw a flower. So I don't know what was the selection criteria there, but, but I am a art design teacher for year 8. Hopefully they can benefit from my flower drawing skills.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Remember, Picasso is also an artist, and a lot of people can't make sense of what he does.
Well,
So,
that's right. I'm kind of like I'm on the same track as Picasso. Yeah, but my drawing does not make sense.
love it.
Well, tell us, people usually get surprised when they hear about so many things. They say, "Oh, you can do that." You've already surprised me that you're a makeup artist. You already surprised me with so many other facts. But there's always something, when people hear, "Oh, is that you?" Or I actually never would have thought that was you. So, what is something really surprising about you?
Not many people know. Well, okay, this isn't surprising. I'm very, very clumsy. I've fallen over when Wonderland was opened in Australia. I fell off of the train and hurt myself for weeks. And so I'm extremely, extremely clumsy. But everyone who knows me knows that. The thing that would be the most surprising thing about me, other than the fact that I've got 2 kids, which I think has surprised a lot of people. I'm Lebanese, which has surprised a lot of people. I also, I've written a book that
Oh,
is not out yet.
that's not out yet. Oh, I was about
No,
to say, can you give us a copy?
no, no, not out yet, but might be out next year. Yeah, so that's something else that I think is surprising. But, I had one, and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that I guess my book is probably the most surprising thing. Yeah,
Well, no, you know what was really surprising when you said you wrote a book. So I actually would have never guessed that. So what is the book about?
It's fictional. So it's a fictional story about women. It's very close to the Me Too movement as well. So some fictional accounts of women who have experienced lots of different types of discrimination in workplaces. And the story kind of goes like this: up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah, it's not going to be out for a while. It's a bit of a confronting story, I think, but also I think maybe an important one to add to that conversation. And of course, it is fictional, so hopefully no one has to go through a lot of the things that the protagonist goes through. So unfortunately, it's not a happy read, but it was one that I learnt a lot through writing it in itself.
Well, you know what? You actually mentioned a great point there. Unfortunately, this has been the case for a very long time until someone decided to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
So, and this has gone on for so many years. I mean, it's not just that. With that Me Too movement, prior to that was the child abuse that came out.
Mm.
Unfortunately, these are those realities which were embedded in our society, and people were not able to speak about them.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to commend you on that, and I hope your book actually makes really becomes very popular. And hopefully, send us a copy. I'll love to read. And I am a big reader, so I do spend a lot of time reading. So yeah, I will be more than happy to read that. So something very close to my heart as well, and I always speak about any kind of prejudice in the society. So that's truly, and one of the biggest things that we have in our school as well that we really look forward is domestic violence. I mean, we really celebrate that, and particularly when we speak about that, I know there's different folds to that. We really focus on women
Oh,
and
yeah.
what's been happening to the society. So I really want to, I commend you on that,
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
congratulate you, and also wish you all the best for that book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hopefully, it'll make the impact I'm hoping that it will and help to better the lives of some people, or at least make people more aware of all of these issues that are still around in Australia today.
Well,
see how it goes.
You've surprised me so much today. I would have loved to work with you more, and my little, experiences with you have always been great. And I can say you're a very generous person,
Oh, thank
and a
you.
very open person. And some of your stuff, well, can't say that on the camera really loud, but some of your help will be very helpful in order for me. So I actually want to
No,
thank
thank
you
you.
on the camera for that. I'm a kind of person, I mean, I don't shy away, but yeah, well, I really want to thank you. I mean, you've actually helped me in ways which is, I would say, well, it's unmentionable. It's like there's no words that I have to thank you for what you've done for me. So,
Oh, thank you so much. No, it's so. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you appreciate that. I really was nothing. So.
but look, I do say, we always would thank people, and this is what appreciation is, something that goes a long way. So I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, those little things are being very helpful. So actually, more than helpful. I'm gonna say
Oh,
that.
I'm so glad. I'm so super glad.
So, well, we are in difficult times still, as you know. The politicians, they love to lock us up whenever they like, and so fingers crossed they don't lock us up again. And
Yeah.
we're in those times, we're all looking for motivation. What's something that you would like to tell us? I mean, motivate. You've been part of AIA family, and you'll be
So,
always remembered from this video. So, give us some advice.
oh, some advice. Okay. So, some advice that I personally love is to feel the fear and do it anyway. The reason why I have been able to do and achieve, I think, a fair bit more in my short life and do those things that I wanted to do is because I do feel the fear. I'm afraid to do a lot of things, but I do it anyway. I've been bungee jumping, skydiving. I've done a lot of intense things along those lines. But there's nothing to be afraid of if you believe in yourself and if you do those things that you want to do. And teaching itself is something that I think we're all a little bit fearful of at times to stand in front of a classroom and teach the next generation. But we just got to do it anyway.
Well, tell us. I mean, how was skydiving? I would never jump off the plane. Seriously.
Skydiving was terrifying, and being in that tiny little plane when they take you up in the sky. But the falling, amazing. Just
Was
so
amazing.
amazing.
So you're telling me near-death experience was amazing, and
Yeah.
going in the plane was terrifying, but jumping off the plane was amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're not on the same page over there. I probably would be more amazing going in a small plane rather than jumping off the plane. So it's not me.
That's fair. You never know. Never say never.
Well, definitely say never to skydiving.
Maybe bungee jumping. That was a lot of fun too.
Well, maybe bungee jumping if I'm tied with a steel chain to my feet. Yeah.
The most terrifying thing about bungee jumping is that they make you jump yourself. No one pushes you off. You have to be the one to jump.
Well, that's great. Then I'm not going to jump.
A lot of people back out of it at the last second. That's for sure.
So there you go. That's great. So I have my own fate in my own hands.
Yep. But they don't refund you if you don't jump.
Oh, that's fine. I'd rather be alive and make that money later.
Yeah.
All right, look, it was great. Now comes the fun part. Not really fun for the people, the riddle, and fun for me because I'm actually sitting on the giving end and you're at the receiving end. I'll tell you what, these are all tricky riddles. They're not very hard. You just have to just be careful and listen to it, and you get the answer. So, can you stop sharing so I'll share the riddle with you now? So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to actually mute myself, and you get to listen to the riddle. I'll give you 10 seconds. Because you know what, I must say you're a great teacher. I'll give you another 10 seconds, so that's 20 seconds, and
Okay.
you get to answer. You got all the time, all the 20 seconds to answer that riddle.
Okay. I'll do my best.
All right, there we go. It's all yours. Have a listen to it and answer the question.
Spilling the tea. Susie went to study for her university exam at a coffee shop. She ordered a white tea and sat down. 10 minutes later, she got up to go to the bathroom. When she returned, her laptop wouldn't turn on and her teacup was empty. Someone had spilled the tea on her computer and cleaned it up. She called the manager, told him what happened, and they came up with 3 suspects. The barista said he had been swamped and didn't see anything. The supervisor said he was sorry that the milky tea spilled on the computer, and he could see if insurance would cover the cost. The head barista said he was sorry the milky tea spilled on her laptop, and he'd make her another one while they waited for the police to arrive. Immediately, the store manager knew who did it.
Okay, so I know who did it. The person in the middle would have done it. Because the barista would have known the tea was milky, and so would the person who owned the shop, but the person in the middle wouldn't have known that it was a milky tea that spilled.
Well, let's see if that's the right answer. Okay, well, let's check out if what you're saying is the right answer. Let's go for it.
It was the supervisor. He couldn't have known that the tea had milk in it since it was cleaned up. The only person who remembered the order was the one who prepared it.
Well, that was amazing. Look, you got it right. You've actually only downplaying yourself and undervaluing yourself that you're not good at riddles. So trust me, if you asked me that riddle, I wouldn't have a clue.
I'm sure you would have. I'm sure you would have. I can't believe I got it right.
I would have said the manager, who was not even one of the suspects. All right, with that, I really want to thank you. It's going to be up on that channel, the one I gave you. And so you can watch that video. So hopefully tonight, I'll be able to edit that video and be over that because I don't have my computer on me and it requires a lot of editing. So as you know, there were so many hurdles that we have to. And with that, also the people who'll be watching it, you are another 15 people I have to interview. So please don't be scared. Learn it from Miss Danille and all the other people that have done it. Get back to me with your child photo and reply back to my email. I'm happy to interview you on the weekdays and also on the weekend. And with that, I really want to thank you. You know what? We're also counting the views. Whoever gets the most views, as you said, you had a great family. So make sure you share the link. Right now, Mr. Waleed's sitting at the top. That is a mountain number. It's over 400 views.
Okay.
So if you got an Instagram account, I'm sure you can break that views more than 400. So there you go. I really want to thank you. I wish you all the best wherever you go. Our doors are always open for you. And if you want to come back to AIA, we'll be more than happy to embrace you. Thank you so much for being part of this school. And I want to thank you on behalf of the entire school, as the Imam, as the chaplain of the school. I thank you for your services and I thank you for your presence.
Oh, thank you, Sheikh. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You too.
So let me open the riddle.
I'm terrible at riddles.
Well, trust me, I am really terrible, but why do I enjoy what I do? Because I don't get to answer them.
Oh, it's good to be on the other end of the chair, huh?
Yeah, because I don't get to answer them. Give me 1 second. There'll be a lot of interruptions. That will be edited. Don't worry.
So there's actually a terrible baby picture, but it's the only one I have at the time. So.
Well, no, that's all good. And I'm trying to remember the questions myself because it's been a while since I've done that. All right. Yeah. So you know the questions, right? Did you go through one of those shows?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch. I'm so sorry.
Something that you know really well, something you always wanted to learn, and usually people get surprised about you. A fact. You have to give a fact. There could be many facts about you that people actually... I can tell you before we start the interview, I was surprised to find out about you that you're from an Arab descent.
I am, yeah.
So for me, that was the biggest surprise. So maybe you can mention that. How do you say your surname?
Oh, Burns. But a lot of my maiden name is Quace. A lot of people go.
Is that the word Quace, which means good in Arabic?
Yeah, it's my son. Yeah, that's my surname. But let me tell you, most of the places I know are not good. I'm the
so
exception, of